Okay, so going into my first year with literally no experience and no knowledge of what college was gonna be like, I have no idea why no one told me. Hi, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am so beyond excited to start this new segment that I'm gonna call CollegeYap, where I just come on here and talk about my experience in college. If you couldn't already guess, I go to UCLA. And I'm excited for this segment to be just like an authentic take of everything that I have been doing in college, everything real. Like, I'm not wearing like any makeup right now because this is authentic, you know? I'm not just lazy. This is a theme. This is a trend. Today I am most excited to be talking about my partnership with UWorld and being an affiliate sponsor and a partner with them. It's been incredible, and I'll share more about that later in this video. But I'll also be talking about dorm must-haves, dorm must not have, which are so important. You can't bring your entire life to college. You're living in a closet-sized space. You have to keep that in mind. Some first year stories, some things I've learned along the way, some things no one told me, which I don't even know why no one told me going into college. I thought it was so important to learn some of these things. And yeah, some fun, embarrassing stories. So keep watching for more. Let's just get this video started with some really important things, all right? What to bring in your dorm. I know a lot of us live in different sized dorms. For example, for my first year, I chose to live in a suite. So it was definitely a bigger space. I had a living room, I had a dining table, and then we had 6 girls. We had 2 triple rooms that all shared a bathroom. So it's bigger than like a classic dorm, which is basically just 2 or 3 of you squeezed into like a little closet-sized space with bunk beds. That's different. But these are some things that no matter what size dorm you're living into, I think are a must-have, and that'll definitely define your college experience. Like, you need these things. First of all, scissors. A lot of us, when we're thinking about moving out and like moving into a new space, we think of the big things. Like, we think of our bedding, we think of our books, we think of like clothes and everything. But scissors are often forgotten. And I, for one, have used my scissors so much. Opening packages, tearing papers. You're going to school, so you're gonna need to like unwrap stuff and cut stuff. I don't know how else to explain this. I would recommend bring at least 2 pairs of scissors, if not more, because you will lose them, you will misplace them. And just bring actual good scissors, because some things that you will need to like cut when you're like decorating your space or when you need to open a package, you can't do with the kid-friendly small scissors because they do not work. So bring some good scissors that you can use on a daily basis. Second thing you probably need to bring are your previous school notes. Trust me, going into a pretty academically rigorous college, it was really important for me. I look back at my school notes so much just to like review all of the things that I learned in my AP classes, in my community college courses, or in my just Spanish class, my Spanish high school courses, because I did take Spanish again at UCLA after taking it in high school. So bring your previous notes just as something for you to lean off of, because you will notice that some of these professors that teach at universities, they're not the greatest at explaining stuff, or they do it in a way that's not comprehensible for the human mind. So looking back at stuff from high school has been immensely helpful, especially as someone who took Spanish, like I said, like a foreign language. I look back at like all of the vocab, the grammar, and it prepped me for the orals and all of the other tests that I had coming up. College is weird because like your entire grade is based off your exams. Almost entirely, like 80% of your grade, your final grade, is based off your exams. And so you need to be studying well and building a good foundation so that when you're in those exams, if you see material you haven't seen before, you're not lost. And I think reviewing past school notes can definitely be helpful in that. Something else you need to bring, especially as a clean freak, me, myself, and I, are disinfectant wipes. Like, I went through literally one of these, the Lysol wipes that you can like pull out, and I used to wipe my stuff every 2 days because college dorms are gross. They're built gross. People have lived there for like years and years and years, and dust is everywhere. I used to wipe stuff down one day, come back the next day, and there would be even more dust on it than I'd seen the day before. It's pretty gross. So I would definitely recommend bringing disinfectant wipes, just the ones that are easy to use. I myself, because I knew I was clean, I bought like this spray that you can spray and then you can wipe down, right? But I'm also lazy. I didn't want to spend more time than I had to cleaning. So these disinfectant wipes are just really quick and easy ways of wiping down surfaces and making sure things are clean so you aren't getting sick. It's really important that you're being clean in college, even if you don't really care, because I had so many of my friends get mold poisoning because there was mold growing in their apartment and or in their dorm and they didn't know it. And some way to avoid mold is just to clean. Like clean surfaces, vacuum. Vacuum is so important. I'm not going to go over like everything you should bring in this list because you can get that from every other resource. These are just some quick things that I have thought of that like a lot of people forget to mention when they talk about dorm must-haves. So bring disinfectant wipes. Make sure you are wiping down your surfaces. Avoid dust at all times. You can get sick. You don't want to get sick. You can get acne. No, we want to be gorgeous because we are gorgeous. Next, paper towels. Just like clean paper towels, because you can spill stuff, water, drinks. Paper towels are just really handy, just wiping surfaces down. Or even for like a clean freak like when I Lysol disinfectant wipes and I wipe down something, I wipe it down with a paper towel afterwards, just so like dust doesn't stick on like wet surfaces, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift. If not, but I just think paper towels are super helpful. Next, air fresheners. I know you're dorming with 3 other people, right? And even if they aren't disgusting and they don't smell like crap every day, there are days when some people just like don't have the time to get ready. They have to get out of bed and go straight to class and come back. In a small space, if you have a person that doesn't smell good, that really makes a difference, especially if you're trying to study and be peaceful and be quiet. If someone comes in smelling like BO, it's gonna bother you. So an air freshener really does a really, really, really nice job in making sure your space smells good and it's inviting and you want to go sleep at night. Next, earplugs and eye mask. I didn't think I'd ever need those because I'd never worn those while sleeping, and I'm honestly the deepest sleeper you'll ever find. Like when I hit the pillow, you cannot wake me up unless you literally pick me up and throw me in a pool. That's just the kind of sleeper I am. But I had a very different sleep schedule than my roommates this year. And so when I went to bed, they would be like getting ready with their friends to go out. Or when I like woke up and I wanted to get ready early in the morning, they would be asleep. So what I really brought was I went to Amazon, did a quick find, found the cheapest eye mask I could find and earplugs that actually work. Like spend good money on your earplugs, make sure they're noise canceling, and buy your earplugs and your eye mask, because even if you don't use it ever and your roommates are like, you have the same sleep schedule and everything, at least you have something on nights that you really need to go to bed. Like if you have to sleep for an exam and you want to have a good night's sleep before an exam, you can't be bothered because your roommate is sick and like snuffling in the corner. You need to have some precaution to make sure you can have a good night's sleep. Guys, do not sleep on sleep. Do not sleep on sleep. Hear me when I say that. Like sleep makes the biggest difference. I'll talk about stories later in this video where because I hadn't slept, I thought the world was ending. Like you need your sleep, guys. Next, I wanted to go over bringing sunscreen, but before sunscreen, I want to talk about something. Bring a purifier, an air purifier. All right, I know you've watched Friends and you know how annoying Ross is about his air purifier, but like I mentioned, one of my friends had mold growing in her room, and that can get you sick. Mold poisoning is disgusting, horrible. You will not feel great after mold poisoning. So get an air purifier that could be in the corner and make sure your air is like not dusty and not is clean. Yeah, we all need air to live. So get an air purifier for sure. That's just like for your safety and for your health. Prioritize your health. And then lastly, bring sunscreen, because I live in a school that's very sunny, UCLA. And I honestly, because I'm kind of dark and melanin is great, I didn't get, like, you can't see my sunburn, but I would get sunburn and it would feel just like warm. I feel like a tomato because I wouldn't put enough sunscreen on. So protect your skin, protect yourself, your health. Oh, one last thing. Bring a first aid kit. I never used mine, but it's always good to have, you know, as a precaution, just a small little first aid kit. I got mine off Amazon and it worked great. So do that. All right, so before I go into the next part of my video and talk about dorms must not have and things you shouldn't bring, I wanted to bring your attention to my partnership with UWorld. I am officially a UWorld partner, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with you because I'm about to start my MCAT journey. MCAT is your entrance exam to med school, and as a pre-med student, it's really a big obstacle to climb because after you have a good MCAT score, you can think about applying to med school and basically starting your dream. I have been studying for the MCAT starting this summer, and I am so excited to be studying on UWorld. UWorld has been such a dream because, like you see here, they are the #1 platform for studying for the MCAT, and all of my friends, everyone I've talked to, all of my mentors, all of my upperclassmen, all have recommended UWorld to me because of their extensive question bank. They have a question bank with over 3,004 questions. 3,004 questions that have come from recent MCATs and that are basically your entire study guide, because that's like all the concepts that could be covered on the MCAT, UWorld has in their subscription platforms. They have their 180 and their 360-day platforms. And if you could look right here, you have a study planner that you can plan your studying in. You could have an expert-led study plan, a flexible, a custom study plan. You have books that go over the content and review everything with you and meet you with questions to affirm that you have the knowledge in your system. You just have so many resources here. So I would definitely recommend checking out their 180 and their 360-day subscription programs that are all access. I will be linking my link in this description, in this video description, in the comment section, and if you choose to use it, you can get $50 off when you do subscribe to for the 180 or the 360-day platform. And I would definitely recommend keeping this in, like, remembering UWorld, because you will need it if you're studying for the MCAT or any other graduate school exam. UWorld is if you're studying for the MCAT or any other graduate school exam. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about this, and feel free to check more information out in my comments and my description. All right, so next we have things you probably shouldn't bring to college. These are things that I unfortunately did bring and then soon realized that they were just taking up space in my small dorm and there was no need for them. The first one includes my crocheting kit. Just to give you some background, the last time I did crochet was during the pandemic, and that's because I had nothing else to do. But, you know, me in my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna start in college, you know, like that's gonna be so iconic. I could be sitting in my dorm or crocheting with friends. It could be like a hobby. It could be amazing. No, I didn't pick it up once because college is like school plus more. I was so busy, I was barely getting to my dorm, and I was only in my dorm basically to study or to sleep when I wasn't out and about and having a good time. Trust me, all the free time that you have, you will spend with your friends and going out and exploring your college town, especially in your first year when you're just getting started and you want to do everything that's out there for you. Don't bring any niche hobbies that you just haven't done at home, because if you haven't done it at home, you won't do them in college. That's just the way it goes. I'm so sorry. Next, your memorabilia, your things from your childhood that you're like, oh, it's so sweet, I want to bring it with me to college. Honey, me too. Honey, me too. I got my whole, my yearbooks. I got my middle school yearbook and my high school yearbook with me to college, being like, what if one day I just want to go back on, like, into memory lane and just, like, look at how cute I looked and look at everything I did? No. My yearbooks were heavy, and they were in the bottom of my one cabinet that I had the entire time. I didn't pick them up. I didn't do anything with them. Going back into memory lane is amazing, and it's such a nice reflection process. But that's when you have time. You have time to chill and sit there and reflect, you know? I didn't have that time. Every free minute I had that I wasn't studying, I was out with friends, I was going to parties, I was doing other stuff. And these memories you also have in your phone to look back on, like your photos, which are amazing memories too, that you could just carry with you, and that aren't so space extensive as like actual, like a box of memories. So I would recommend just leave that at home, and when you do get home, you can do that in your room where you have a lot more space. The third thing that I probably wouldn't recommend that you bring is a lot of decorations to decorate your room. Again, there's very limited space for you to decorate because you have like 1/3 of a wall that you can put stuff on. I, for one, got a lot of like lights that I wanted to put up to brighten up the place. I think I turned those lights on for the first week that I was there. And then after that first week, I got too lazy just to turn off and turn on every single light. And eventually the lights just died on their own, and I didn't replace the battery either. So I just had dead lights on the wall. So don't bring too much, just bring enough that you feel like you're not living in a prison cell, and that you have space and it's your space, and you feel like your space is inviting, which is all you need. I got on my wall, I put up like my Polaroids with my friends, just so I had like memories and fun things to look at when I was studying and locked in. I put up little quotes, which were super incredible when I had to wake up early in the morning and I didn't feel like waking up. They really pushed me to get out of bed, so that was amazing. The last thing that I would say do not bring is a lot of stuffed animals. I know for us girlies, our stuffed animals are like our safe space. They are so comforting and I love them. And I shouldn't have brought as many as I did either. But like your stuffed animals, when you are sleeping, your bed is, think of it like a balance beam in gymnastics. It's like this small, and you yourself can barely fit into your twin XL bed. So you plus your 10 stuffed animals, it's just this, there's not enough space for them. And so you're gonna kick them on the floor, and then they'll stay there and you have to bring them back up on the bed. And again, I am a clean freak, so you're just bringing dust onto your bed and it's gonna go on your face, and that's how you get acne. So I would recommend just bring 1 or 2 that you really love and that you're really passionate about. They're also a great talking point when you bring people into your room to look at your stuffed animals. But space, honey bun, you're in a closet. So just keep that in mind. All right, with that said, I am done giving you my piece of unsolicited, I can never say that word. I'm done giving you my pieces of unsolicited advice for now. So let's move on to my stories and how my first year went. Overall, if I look back at it and I'm thinking about everything that I did so much. UCLA, our schools work in quarters, so we have 3 quarters of school and 1 quarter of summer. And so my 3 quarters were all just so much fun overall. Definitely had studying, definitely had downtime, definitely had times where I felt like crying, times where I felt like going back home, times where I felt like I don't belong. But that's just normal, and that comes with living on your own for the first time. But I definitely think I pushed myself to talk to a lot of different people, to make good friends, to go out. I am an early bird, so I like going to bed early and getting up early so I can be productive throughout the day. So it was a little hard for me to go out late at night and go party and have fun and dance and sing amazing songs and listen to the DJs and talk to new people. But I pushed myself to do that at least like 2 to 4-ish times a quarter, which was incredible, and that was just all I needed, and I always felt so good doing it. I'm glad that I did that. But some of my stories, where do I even begin? Let's start off with FOMO. FOMO, fear of missing out, because I felt that a lot, literally a lot in college. It was so weird. Because going into college, I had an idea of what it would be like to live on my own and have friends all around me, and living in this suite, I was like, I could be the hostess. I could be the one where everyone throws their parties. I could be the place that everyone wants to go to. But what I didn't realize is the place that I lived was honestly a little bit socially dead, just because it wasn't like a classic dorm where everyone was forced into like a small space and everyone had their space. So everyone was just quiet and in their own rooms doing their own things. I felt quite weird the first couple of weeks because I was expecting it to be like a party every night, which it definitely wasn't where I lived in the dorms. But I know a lot of other places, like if you live in a classic suite, a classic dorm where you're on top of each other basically, that it is that. And you have people over all the time, and that's amazing. I didn't experience that. So I felt like I was constantly missing out and that everyone else was having fun and making new friends and I wasn't. I definitely had to go more out of my way to find people to talk to. Like when I used to go to parties, I used to introduce myself to people. When I used to go to classes, I used to do the same thing. I used to make like plans with friends. I used to DM people and be like, hey, oh my God, let's get together. Do you want to go explore LA? Let's go to Santa Monica. Let's go to the beach. And I used to have to make these plans. And it felt like I didn't have a friend group. Which was, coming into college, I thought I would make a friend group instantly. And it would be like this group of girls and guys that I felt like I could be myself around. And that just didn't happen. The moral of that story is that you don't put too much pressure on yourself, because what is meant to happen will honestly happen. So just go out there and find friends, and everything else will be fine. The FOMO really kicked in when I had like nights where I didn't sleep, and the next morning I would wake up being like, where am I? Am I doing everything right? Why do I have no one to talk to? What is happening? And on those nights, I would spiral and I would try to make plans and be super inauthentic and just like go out of my way to reach out to people and be like, hey, are you free tonight? Can we have dinner? Can we do that? Can we do this? And I would keep doing the same thing, and people would respectfully be busy. And I would just feel like I was like stuck to myself. College really taught me how to be okay being alone. And that's been such an incredible like piece of advice that I can't even give to you, because you have to experience it for yourself and realize that you yourself can have fun. And you don't need to go out of your way to always constantly be around people. That was a long-winded story. I hope it made sense. But next we'll talk about some embarrassing stories. Sticking to the FOMO I felt that I was talking about, this is a specific story about how that FOMO really kicks in, all right? Let me bring you to the scene, okay? First quarter of college, no one in my family really has been to a college in the US, so all my experience and my knowledge has been from friends that are currently in college, or people that are online talking about it, like myself, I guess. But so I thought that when you first get into college, it's all like every night is going out, is partying, is meeting people, is having fun, right? So our first Thursday of college at UCLA is this thing called Blackout. And it's just a massive party that all of the frats at school throw. And so every single frat is throwing a party for people to come by and just the ladies to go by and have fun and dance and have a good time. In my head, I took this very seriously. I was like, it's Blackout. I need to go. I need to be there with friends. I need to be having a good time. It is a must. And a couple nights before, just because this is really new into college, this is my first quarter of college, I had met these girls, and no hate to them, they're incredible. Let's call them Janice, Sally, and Samantha. And Janice, Sally, and Samantha had been super welcoming. Everyone, when you come into college, all of the first years, for the first 2 weeks or so, are super welcoming because everyone is new, everyone's trying to fit in. Those 2 weeks are your period to go and make the most friends possible. So because they had been so welcoming and so nice, they were all roommates, and they all lived quite near me, right? I was like, oh my God, I should just go to Blackout with them, right? So a couple nights before blackout, there was this other party that I was throwing that I knew about because I had some connections and I found out. And so I texted them and I was like, oh my God, guys, let's go to this party tonight. And they were like, yes, I definitely want to go. And I had other friends going. So I was like, we can just join them, make it a whole big group. My dream. Going out with like a whole group of girls. Everything I dreamed about like a couple nights before in summer. So I was like, yes, it's finally happening. I'm going out with friends. And so I took Janice, Sally, and Samantha with my other group of friends that I had met on orientation day or something. And we went to this party and had a blast. A different party. This is like before blackout. Had a blast. We had so much fun. We like left the party a little early and we went to Westwood Village just so we could walk around, have a good time. Went to go get ice cream after. And I thought we were clicking. They cared, I cared, we were talking, we were laughing, we were giggling. Our pictures and our videos that night are so cute, and I still look back at them. And so I was like, yes, now I have someone to go to blackout with. Because none of my roommates were going, and I went random my first year of college, so I didn't really know that many other people. So I was like, yes, this is it. These are my girls, this is my group of friends. Janice, Sally, Samantha. We did it. Cut to the night before blackout. I was texting them and I was like, oh, are you guys going to blackout? And they were all like, yes. And so I was like, oh my God, great. Can I come with you? Blank. No responses. No one texted me back. And I was like, okay, maybe they just forgot, maybe like they didn't see my text. Maybe they all just kept their phones to the side. Maybe it's no screen time. And they weren't texting me back. So I kind of started to figure out what's going on the morning of blackout. And I was like, maybe they don't want me to come with them, maybe they just want to be by themselves. But then my thing was, they could have just told me. They could have just been like, sorry, we just need it to be like a roommates thing. And we can go another time or something like that. But they just ghosted me. So to actually find out what was happening, I was starting to spiral. I was starting to be like, now it's the day of blackout. And I haven't asked anyone else if they're going. I can't go to a party by myself and let it be my first blackout going to every single frat. That's weird, and honestly, that's not going to be so much fun. So I made a quick second decision, which I should never do because that's never the right idea, to text Sally. DM her and be like, what time is blackout happening and when are you looking to get ready? I just want to know what time I should be getting ready to. She replies like the evening, like at 6 p.m. And she's like, oh, we're just gonna get ready at 8. That's it. Wasn't like, do you want to come? Wasn't like, oh, so what's the plan? Where should we meet up? Nothing. And so I'm here walking back and forth, texting people right and left, texting people I've just met in class the day before, being like, oh, are you going to blackout? Can I come with? And everyone was probably just busy, probably pre-gaming at this point, and I had no idea what to do. Thankfully, an amazing friend I had, let's call her Iris. Iris replies and she's like, yeah, me and my friends are actually planning on going. You can come with. After I texted her, and this is like at 8 p.m. almost. All the parties at college start around like 10-ish and go all the way to like 4 a.m. So she texted me back at 8 p.m. and she's like, yeah, I'm going. I actually live right by you. You can come by. And I was like, success. I found someone. She has friends. She's going. Yes. Amazing. So I get all ready, I'm wearing my black, I pull up to her classic dorm, and the girls that she is going with are completely, like, they have pre-gamed already, and they're the type of girls that when they do get drunk, so they were having a whole fit about going to this party. After I was outside waiting for the girls, it was me, Iris, and one of her friends. And we were just waiting for these group of 3 girls that lived in one of their classic triples. to come outside and go with us, because at this point it was already like 9:30 and we were like, we should start walking soon because it's about to be 10, the parties are about to start, we need to get going. But they weren't coming out of their rooms. And then they came out and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, we need to take pictures, can you please just take pictures with us? And they got out their digicam, and it was just really clear they wanted us to be the photographers and only take pictures of the three of them. So it felt like we were there for them. And if I had gone to them, foreshadowing, I wouldn't actually have had any fun either. So it's 10 o'clock, me, Iris, and her friend are waiting downstairs. These girls are still throwing a hissy fit upstairs and are not ready to come downstairs to walk there with us. And I'm just getting tired. I've been thinking about this party the entire day. I have been fixated on this party. And now I don't even think, if I had gone, I would have had a good time. Because my head was starting to hurt. I had an 8 a.m. the next day on Friday. So I spent all of this time finding friends and heading out to the party. But these girls, Iris was just really sweet and her friend was amazing. But they were also just waiting on their friends, and we just felt like the side characters to a story that wasn't ours. So at the very last second, before the girls came down, I told Iris, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, my head's starting to hurt. I might not be able to make it. I'm just gonna go back to my room and go to bed. Which is what I did. Which is exactly what I did. Yeah, I cried a little that night, which is understandable because I looked forward to this and it didn't happen like I wanted it to. But it taught me that I can't just fixate my entire life on like other people and what they're going to do. I need to stay calm, be myself, and find people that I actually vibe with and go have fun with them, because there's no point of valuing people that don't really care about me or about anyone, you know? And that was a learning. On the flip side, things get better, right? Because third quarter, almost the exact opposite story, all right? At this point, I had a lot of friends that I genuinely was like vibed with and that I talked to during class. After class, we'd gone exploring LA a couple times. We went to so many places. We went to the beach. We went to see Jimmy Kimmel. We went to do so many fun things, go to the mall, go shopping, go have food at the dining halls, all these cute things, go study. And so this day I had a really long day. I had a 5:30 a.m. morning shift at my lifeguarding at the pool. And so I'd gotten up at 5:30, had a full day of class, and I get a text from my friend being like, yo, I'm so sorry. I really need to go out today. I haven't been out for so long. And neither had I. And so she was like, yo, me and our two friends are thinking of going out. Do you want to come with? At first, I started thinking and I was like, is it really reasonable for me to go when I really haven't slept well the night before and I had to wake up early the next day for class anyways? It wasn't reasonable, but I knew I wanted to have a good time and I hadn't been out either. So I said yes. And that night, we went out and we had a blast. I was there till 1 in the morning, which wasn't super late. Like the party goes on till 4. So I wasn't there for the longest time. Of course, I didn't drink because I don't find it really, I don't drink. I don't think I need to have fun. But yeah, I was there as their sober friend. They were drinking and good for them. Like low-key, God bless, you do you. But I had such a fun time that night. Obviously, I got up in the morning and I hadn't had sleep. I was on coffee. But that's future me's problem. But that night was amazing because I had people with me that were there and yeah, we danced to every song and I couldn't feel my throat the next morning. You always know that's a good sign. Those were the 2 cute stories I wanted to share with you for today. But other than that, let's end this off with some of my unsolicited advice for all of you new freshmen going into college and that wanted some unsolicited advice from someone who's just finished her first year. Something that really helped me was in the first 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks to 3 weeks, go and have food with new people. Like literally walk up to a group of people and be like, hey, I'm sorry, could I join you? I just got here and I have food and like I don't have anyone else to eat with. Because 100% of the time someone's gonna say yes. And those 3 weeks, if you do come across like freshman or sophomore or someone that looks like they are new to the college, if you go and sit with them, then you can get to know more people. And those 3 weeks are like your span for when people are the most welcoming, because no one's really formed their groups either. And so if you join them, then you can be a part of that group and you can meet more people and, you know, grow your friend circle. I did that with like 5 or 6 other groups, and all of them, every time we see each other in the hallway, even if we didn't end up being the closest of friends, we all say hi to each other still. And this is 3 quarters after I had lunch with them that one time. So yeah, just go be unapologetically embarrassing. Like, just be open to new things, talk to more people. College is all about the people. It's all about the connections that you make. So don't be scared. No one's gonna remember you if you do something embarrassing, or if they're like, sorry, no, we're talking about something that's a little bit private. It's okay. You only live once. You're gonna be fine. It's all chill. What else do I have to say? If you are someone that's like me, that took a lot of AP classes in high school, and that has to repeat some of our classes, especially as a pre-med student, when you get to that 3rd quarter, when you are finally going over material that you haven't learned ever, like I didn't do any organic chemistry in high school, but of course I had to do organic chemistry in college. So my 3rd quarter was my first time actually learning organic chemistry. And all of general chemistry I had already covered in high school because I had an epic, the most goated AP Chem teacher. It was weird for me to learn something new from scratch, because I basically hadn't learned anything new from scratch for almost a year. Senior year barely counted. Like, I was just in school to have fun and be there with my friends. So it was so weird for me to be actually physically, like mentally learning new information. I felt for the first 2 weeks of learning new information that I was just stupid, because it was taking me so much longer to absorb this information than it had stuff that I'd already covered in high school. So be ready for that. You're gonna be okay. Yeah, some of the class grading is a little bit screwed, and it's basically how lucky you get in some of these classes, because some professors or some TAs grade harder than the others do. It's just the beauty of life in school. Your grades are gonna be fine. You're gonna be chill. Have fun. Do exciting things. If you feel the FOMO, it's okay. Tell yourself you're gonna be okay. It's gonna happen when it's meant for you. Yay! That's all I have for you today. Let me know if you want something else, if you want me to talk about more specific experiences, and I hope you have the best time planning for college. It's gonna be so fun. You got this. Mwah.